Okay, what you saying, people, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we have another weekly forex analysis, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also leave a like. And if you haven't already, make sure you join my Telegram channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description. So I'll be posting a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and you don't want to miss out on that. But like I said, we have another weekly analysis, so let's get into it. Up first, we have Euro USD. Okay, so for Euro USD on the daily chart, you can still see we're in an upwards trend in this market. We've come up to this area in the market here where we found some resistance, and you can see that we're struggling to break through it. We've got multiple tests of this area in the market here, and prices getting rejected. But obviously, you can still see that we haven't actually really pulled away from this area in the market. We're kind of ranging between this support area and that resistance area on the daily time frame. So again, we need price to either break to the upside and then continue that bullish trend, or break to the downside and continue a reversal to the downside on the daily time frame. On the weekly, you can still see that we're quite bullish. We had a strong bullish candle this week to the upside, so we could be seeing that momentum continue and Euro USD continue to the upside. If we do get something to the downside, we could be coming back to go find some support in the market after this big push to the upside, and either go retest that the monthly trend line that we broke. So if I go check on the monthly and I zoom out, you can see that we had this monthly trend line with multiple tests in the market, and we had a break of it recently, so it could be coming back to go and retest that before we continue in the upwards trend. So that could well be the case, but currently in the weekly chart we're looking bullish, and the daily chart we're just ranging, so we even need price to break to the upside or to the downside currently. But currently we're coming up to that resistance area, so early Monday we could be seeing a reaction either to the downside if price is going to give us that move, or to the upside if price is going to give us that bullish continuation to the upside. So we could be looking for shorting opportunities around here early next week, or we could be looking for buying opportunities if we see a break to the upside and price go find some support to continue in that upwards direction. Now we're going to take a look at USD JPY. Okay, so for USD JPY on the daily chart, you can see that we've got this area in the market here, which is our support area where we've been seeing reactions to the upside from, and price respecting this level quite well. But currently we've had a big bearish candle to the downside on Friday. As you can see here, a big bearish candle to the downside. So you can see the momentum is shifting from bullish to bearish now, and we could be seeing price come back and retest this area in the market again. So we could be seeing price come back here, giving us some more reversal price action patterns there, and we could be seeing a move to the upside, and you can be looking for a long. But if we don't and price continues bearish, we could be seeing price continue to break through that support area in the market and see price continue to the downside, where we could be seeing price go and reach these areas in the market where we've had support around here when we had a big push to the upside from there. So if we do get a break of that support area that we've been talking about, we could see price come down here, but currently we do have this strong level, and if I go to the weekly, you can see just how strong it is. So now this is the weekly time frame, so you can see here that we had very strong push to the upside. We have this wick reject here, price push to the upside there, to the upside there, and again that's the level coming back to. So you can see it's a strong area in the market, but if we do get a break of it, we can see price continue to the downside and go and test these areas down here. So next week we could be looking at this level in the market here and just seeing how price reacts to this level, whether we'll be getting a move to the upside or a continuation to the downside. And now we're going to move on to USD CAD. Okay, so for USD CAD on the daily chart, you still see that we're quite bearish in this market. Price is definitely making those lower lows and those lower highs. Currently we had a break of the weekly trend line. If I go to the weekly chart, you can see what I'm talking about. So we've had this trend line here, and we just had a break of it as well of the 200 moving average on the weekly. So you could be coming back to this area in the market here, where price has had these push to the upside, which is a big push to the upside. So you could be seeing price come back to go respect that area in the market again. And if you look on the daily chart, let me draw a line out. You can see that we're not too far from this area in the market currently. The daily chart, we're only here, so we could be seeing price continue to the downside with that low momentum. As you can see, we have a few bullish candles in there. Price is not really forming any pullbacks. It's just really correctively down in that downwards trend. So you could be seeing that continue a little bit longer before we get to this area in the market, and then we could probably see a big push to the upside from there. So that's what we're expecting for USD CAD. Okay, so let's move on to Euro GBP. Okay, so for Euro GBP on the daily chart, you can kind of see we've got that bowl shape coming into the market. As you can see, price is getting that curve, and we're slowly picking up momentum to the downward side and getting that bearish move in the market. We were moving sideways for quite a period of time through these levels here, but here you can see that we currently just had a break of that level, and price could be continuing that downwards momentum. We do have this level in the market here. If I draw it out, you can see that it's acted as support in the market here and acted as resistance in the market here as well. So you can see it's a good level in the market, strong daily level, and that's what we could be seeing price come to before we could be seeing a reaction either to the upside or to the downside. So from a daily perspective, that's what we're expecting price to head to go and test this area. So on the lower time frames, you could be looking for shorting entries as price continues in that bearish move. We did just break this level here, so it could be a case of price coming back to retest it before we see price continue to the downside. So you could be taking advantage of that. But when price gets to this area in the market, if it does get to this place in the market, we could be looking for some longs, or if we see price continue, we could be looking to remain bearish in this pair. But for now, we're expecting a move to the downside for Euro GBP, and we could be seeing maybe a potential reversal back to the upside from this area. Okay, up next we have Aodu USD. Okay, so for Aodu USD on the daily chart, you can see that we're very bullish in this market. We've just had a recent push to the upside in the later stages of this week, and you can see that the current daily candle is very bullish, and we've just gone and created new highs in the market, taking out these highs here, and we just had a big push to the upside. So we could be seeing that momentum continue, and on the weekly chart as well, you can see that we're having price losing momentum. There was a few wicks in the market prior to that big push in the market we just had. So you can see we've had multiple wicks in the market to the upside, and price was looking like it was going to push past this 200 moving average. But you can see that this week we had a big bullish candle, and price just break through that 200 moving average. So there's nothing saying that we could get another bearish candle just closing back below that 200 moving average. But from what we can see in the market here, we're looking very bullish, and we could be seeing this keep on moving to the upside before we see any major swings in the market. So that could be the case for a USD. So we could be looking for sells in the market when we go find some resistance, but currently you can still see that we're quite bullish, and it could be a case where we're coming back to go and test these areas in the market which we just broke through, and we could be seeing price continue to the upside. So you could be looking for buying opportunities for AUD if we get a pullback to that area. And up next we have NZD CAD. Okay, so for NZD CAD on the daily chart, you can see that we had a big push to the upside from this area in the market here. You can see why I was talking about it last week, saying we'll probably be seeing a push to the upside. As you can see, we have that 200 moving average, and we also had this daily resistance, which is now daily support. So there was a lot of confidence saying why we could get a potential push to the upside, and you can see we just got that push to the upside. And on the weekly chart, you can see that we're very bullish. We have a very bullish candle, so you could be seeing that momentum continue from the daily chart onto the weekly, and we go test the previous highs all the way back up here where we had a test of that trend line. As you can see, the momentum is definitely shifted from bearish to bullish on the daily time frame. So for entries, you can be waiting for price to pull back and looking for longs as we come up to the daily resistance up here. But that's where we're expecting price to continue for NZD CAD. Let's take a look at GBP NZD now. Okay, so for GBP NZD on the daily chart, you can see that we just had a reversal, and price is looking like it's going to have a push to the downside and continue that move in that bearish direction. On the weekly chart, you can see why. Last week I was talking about this level in the market here, saying we could be seeing a move to the downside from this level. As you can see, it acts as support well here, push to the upside. We've got those wicks again acting as support, price broke through and now it's retesting that same area. So last week I was saying we could be getting a bearish move to the downside, and you can see we got a bearish candle there from that doji. So on the daily chart, you can see we had a break of the 200 moving average, bearish candle, and then break back below. So you could be seeing that continue to the downside. We've got that evening star pattern on the weekly chart. So you could be seeing that continue to the downside for a little bit longer. So again, you can be taking advantage of the pullbacks that price will provide us on the lower time frames like the 4-hourly and the hourly charts, looking to continue that bearish move. Okay, so let's see what's happening with CAD JPY now. Okay, so for CAD JPY on the daily time frame, we came back to this area in the market here where we were expecting price to get to. Price was stuck in this range pattern, and then we had price baked to the upside, and then you can see that we were expecting a move to the upside from this area in the market. Last week I was talking about this area in the market here where we can see it acts as resistance quite well, push to the downside, and then resistance now acts as support for us. And we also got the confluence of the 200 moving average there, so there was reason why we had a push to the upside from that area. And you can see we came to this area in the market here, and we've got that bearish candle to the downside. So you can see we definitely had a reaction from this level, and we could be seeing price continue to at least go test this level again in the market, and then potentially another move to the upside, or continue to the downside there. If I zoom out onto the weekly time frame, you can see that we're in a very bearish market here. Price is definitely making those lower highs and those lower lows. So we could be seeing price continue to the downside from there. On the weekly chart, you can see you have that wick to the upside. So a lot of bearish pressure came in on the weekly time frame there. So you could be seeing that continue to the downside. But we definitely expect price to continue and to go and test this level again at least before we be seeing reaction. So again, you can be taking advantage of the pullbacks on lower time frames and look for those shorts to get to this area here. Let's see what's happening with GBP USD. Okay, so for GBP USD on the daily chart, you can see that we're still in that bullish trend. Price is making those higher highs and those higher lows. This week we just had a big push to the upside towards the end of the week. As you can see that that bullish candle on the daily chart, breaking those daily resistance here and creating those new highs. So if I go into the weekly chart, you can see just that. You can see we had a big push to the upside, a big bullish candle this week. Last week we had that rejection with that doji with a long wick to the upside, and price rejected it in close, giving us that doji candle. So we could be expecting a move to the downside from that candle, and obviously we had that weekly trend line there. But you can see that this week price just kept that bullish trend going and broke through it and create that new high and broke through that weekly trend line very convincingly. We're coming up to this here in the market though, so we could be seeing a reaction to the downside from there, but this could mean that that reaction could just be a bigger pullback on the daily time frame, and price continue creating those higher highs on the weekly, because you can see that we're very strong in that bullish trend, but we are coming up to that weekly level where we could be seeing a reaction to the downside. So from a daily chart point of view, next week you could be looking at to see how price reacts with this level here in the early stages of next week, whether we could be getting a swing to the downside and looking for some shorter entries on the low time frames, or potentially if price continues the upwards direction and look for price to go and retest that level, then look for longs there. And last but not least, GBP CAD. Okay, so for GBP CAD on the daily chart, you can see that we just had a push to the upside from this area in the market here. You can see that it was acting as support and resistance before. You can see it was acting as support here, then it was acting as resistance for us here, but it broke through that level and then price came back to retest it, and then we had another push to the upside. So on the daily chart, you can see we just had this bullish candle here breaking through these highs in the market, and it looks like we could be seeing price continue to the upside to go and retest these highs up here, and where we've also got that weekly trend line. If I go to the weekly chart, you can see that price has been respecting this trend line very well for some time. We've got multiple tests across this trend line. We've got a test here, test there, multiple tests there, test here again, there again, and multiple there again. We're back at that same level, and on the weekly chart, you can see that this week's candle was very bullish. So we could be seeing that bullish momentum continue, and go and retest these highs on the daily time frame up there. So that's where we're expecting price to go to. So again, you can be taking advantage on the pullbacks on the lower time frames as price continue higher, and if it does, we could be seeing either potential short trades at this level here when price reaches it, if it does reach it, or potential long trades if price does break through it and gives us a retest finding some support. But we're expecting GBP to continue to the upside for now. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe, leave a like and share, do all the good stuff, all appreciated. But till the next one, I'll see you later.